There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, you Gumpers.
It would help if I put myself on the screen, wouldn't it? Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. How are you today? You lovely Gumpers are already in, aren't they? Hey, Gumpers, as Warren Sharms says, in case you're wondering. Oh, you can hear all of Warren Sharms' tunes at our podcasting site. Actually, I'm going to put in the link to that so that you can find Warren's. And if you prefer to have this in your ears rather than as a full visual feast, you can, of course, listen to our podcast, and that's where you'll find Warren Sharm's tunes about you Gumpers, reunification, and Obrigado, Obrigada, all the classics that he's recorded for us. How are you doing? I haven't sorted my hair out today. I haven't sorted out my wisps this morning. How are you? Bleachy's in. Salted cod pieces are we talking about again this morning? I don't think anybody registered that idea yesterday, did they, with the patents office, the old bacalhau protection system, the salted cod piece. Coach Turner's here, I think, in Portugal. How good is that? If only for a few weeks. Well, that's not too bad, is it? And he's already had a bit of enthusiastic cockerel action this morning, I think. Well, welcome to Portugal. OLP's in as well. Baldylocks, Matty. Who else is here this morning? Laura P. Cindy B. Laura P. Cindy B. James Holly. The Prof is in as well. Fantastic with some Portuguese history today. Thank you so much, Prof, for those. Any mention of drying your washing on the balcony yet? I think one of the videos we'll see, because Phil Cooklin is joining us by video. It's not a live interview, but he very kindly, based on his ideas, philosophy, thoughts become things, and how he's used that to move to Portugal. He's been recording daily videos, like a vlog, and he aligned 3 of those with us. That I'll share with you on this Thursday, moving to Portugal Thursday. So looking forward to playing those. And I can't remember why I mentioned that right now, but I'm sure if it was important, it'll come back. Francis is here as well. Louise, good morning to you, Louise, this morning. And Jack Polly. That's for you, James, and Sue's as well, already in this morning, 5 minutes into the show. Now, I've got a quick announcement to make, because it could look like we're a very tight-knit community with some, Nubianette, Paolo Coimbra is here this morning, and Chris Capricorn 12. Thunder was in, T-Duck was in early on as well, with some... I think we got some Stephen Wright, haven't we? Yeah, Stephen Wright and some George Carlin this morning. These are the names if you're a regular, you'll be familiar with these names, regular as they are as well. And what we need to remember, of course, Good Morning Portugal, Expats Portugal, all about helping you move to Portugal and then enjoy your life in Portugal once you're here. It may look like these folks here are the only ones, which is an impression you could garner if you listen on a daily basis. But actually, most of the views of the show take place in the following 24, 48 hours, because so many of the people who want to come to Portugal aren't even awake yet. Apart from the odd exceptions like the OLP and Baldylocks, who make the effort, and we're very glad of that. But lots of people are snoozing and slumbering and dribbling and drooling over there in the United States, unaware of this going on, and they'll catch it later. Yes, I'm talking to you if you're watching this later on. So if you've got a message, you regulars, you Gumpers, you regular Gumpers, for the folks in the United States who will be waking up in, several hours' time and consuming this show, let's give them a warm welcome as well, shall we? Yes, we're talking to you. If you're just rubbing your eyes and yawning and thinking, what are those guys been up to, those Gumpers who I one day look forward to being with live in the morning in Portugal. It's a special shout out to you. And please do let me know just send a message to us so that we can read it out at this time of the day, and you can represent yourself here and you can ask you questions. So WhatsApp's a good way to do that. 351-913-590-303. YouTube, you can leave a comment on YouTube. That makes it a little bit more difficult. We don't get around to answering those as quickly as we would like, with the huge influx of messages and some of the random stuff that goes on YouTube, let's face it. So the most reliable place to do that is on the WhatsApp account. And we'd love to say hello to you if you consume this much later on in the day and after transmission, okay? And if you want to say hello to any of the regulars here, like let's talk to them now, shall we? Like the T-Duck, like the OLP who was in first this morning. See, if they can do it in Oregon, you can get up once in a while as well, can't you? But if you can't, if you're working, whatever it is that stops you from watching live, send us a message instead, and we'd be delighted to say hello to you and answer your questions. Okay, so please don't feel left out or excluded. This is a very inclusive place to be, and we occasionally pay a price for that in our efforts to be tolerant and inclusive. It's not always easy, but we're committed to it. Okay, so OLP was in first. First off the bat. Is it first off the bat or the back? Hold on, what's going on here? Oh, somebody wants to lend us 310,000 euros. Or are they giving it that to us? Thank you, Audrey, this morning. Any more of that nonsense and we'll have to boot you out. That's a spammer, everybody. That's not how I talk to everyone else here. Hi, all of you lovely gumpers then. At 7:21 this morning, my goodness. Good morning, Carl. Good morning, Bordilocks. What airline and route are you taking to Portugal? See, these are the questions we want to be answering. What airlines are your favorites? Because tonight on the Premium Plus session, I'm doing setting up home and utilities. So please let us know what your experiences are if you are here. Who are your favorite companies? How much fun was it getting the water connected, for example? Because you need to go to the camera for that, generally speaking, don't you? To the town hall for your water. Then are you a big EDP fan? Is anyone a big EDP fan? Have you tried one of the alternatives? Which is your favorite internet and phone solution, etc., etc.? Did you get used to plugging in big bottles, big steel canisters of gas, either the knee-high ones or the shoulder-high ones? Is that a new thing for you? Let us know what all your experience of that is this morning, if you will, so that we can share that good news. Well, if it is good news, and the bad news as well. If you've had bad news with that sort of stuff, let us know what that is as well. Bon dia todos from Coach Turner. Look at this. Happy to have joined all you lovely gumpers in Portugal, if only for a few weeks. That sounds all right, though, doesn't it? In spite of an overly enthusiastic cockerel keeping me awake. There are so many things I could say about that, Coach, and I won't. But it is, isn't it? I mean, noisy cockerels, barking dogs, church bells. It's all part of the sonic scenery here. And you will, by the end of your few weeks, you'll be used to that. You'll be missing it, in fact. Ian, I'm so jealous, says the OLP. I can't wait for my first visit. So happy you had a great time. And how was the flight, Coach Turner? How did the restrictions treat you? Good morning to OLP from Baldilocks in California. I don't know which airline. I'm at least 5 months away from traveling. I will make it my first stop in San Miguel. Okay, fantastic. Going to the Azores. It's on the way, so might as well check it out. That's a good attitude, isn't it? It's on the way, so I'll check it out. That sounds like a good night out, doesn't it? Well, that bar was on the way, so we checked that one out, and then the other one, and then the other one. I'm not feeling too good. Oh, and have an appointment for COVID testing. I'm guessing that is in 30 minutes. With an hola, bon dia a todos Amsterdam. Wow. Okay, well, all the best with that. Let us know how you get on. And let us know what you're doing to look after yourself, because I know you'd like to lean towards the holistic with this. What are you doing, Matty, if you don't mind saying? Bon dia, alegria to the Nación de Gamparas with a special sound effect I can hear in my ears right now. Stephen Wright, thank you, T-Duck, for that. Carrying on with the Stephen Wright quote of the day. Come on, where's the Portuguese comedians? Come on. Prof will do it if no one else will. Stephen Wright quote of the day. I was a peripheral visionary. I could see the future, but only way off to the side. Actually, you could have said that, T-Duck, with your worldview. That's so you, as much as it is Stephen Wright there. Don't forget, tomorrow, a bubble off centre, the storm drain of the Good Morning Portugal show. Me and the T-Duck will be doing, it's our third now, the bubble off centre live stream and podcast tomorrow, 10:30 on a Friday. Okay, join us for that. And we talk about anything, pretty much. No, nobody talks about anything. That's a silly thing to say, isn't it? But our compass is wide in our inclusion of subjects and views thereof, of course, as well. So Bubble Off Centre, 10:30 on a Friday, third edition tomorrow. And a good morning, Gumpers. And this comes in next to the George Carlin quote of the day. We've added years to life, not life. That was him, was it? There is as many pithy comments now in our culture as there are from Shakespeare or from George Carlin, aren't there? We've added years to life, not life to years. Ain't that the truth? Bit depressing, that, T-Duck. Bom dia, teóricos de conspiração. This threw me for a minute. I was thinking, who is this young lady here? That's not the prof himself. That's his picture though for today, and I'm sure we're going to find out who that is. So this is hello, conspiracy theorists. We're all conspiracy theorists, aren't we? Thinking about it. Everyone's partial, aren't they, in their thinking, as hard as they might try to be open-minded. We've all got our little biases, haven't we? And we all have our own little conspiracy theories. I think you're talking about the big ones there, aren't you? And possibly pandemic, COVID-wise. But are we? Show me a man who is this George Carlin? Show me a man who is not a conspiracy theorist, and I'll show you a man who doesn't think, or woman for that matter, before we upset anyone on that basis. There are some things that women like to be left out of, though, aren't there? Where it's not sexist to do so, because it's a blooming relief not to be included in some of the stupid behaviour associated with men. Concordam completamente com crise de meia idade. Os tecalois de yogurt. I recognise yogurt in there. So he's had some sort of yogurt-based difficulty. And don't we all in life, at some point in our lives, devem permanecer nos seus próprios países. Now, and clean something or other. Has he spilt yogurt on his sheets again, Pete? Haven't we talked about this before? I might have to save this for tomorrow's show. It's Philomena Friday. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, Philomena will join us, and she's got a packed schedule for us, a packed itinerary of things to talk about and places to visit virtually, including the backstory for this wonderful picture that she sent ahead of time as well, that I showed you briefly yesterday. Where is it? Not Carmen Miranda. This one, we'll be finding out. No, it's not that one, is it? It's this one. This one. Men in skirts with wooden sticks. You won't be laughing or sniggering at them in their skirts, because they'll give you a clout. Give you a kick up the backside with their boots, their Portuguese leather boots, or a couple of tonks to the head with their two wooden sticks there. Or wave a handkerchief in your face and cover you in germs. Which is not a good thing in this time in human history, is it? Let's face it. So, Pete, what happened with yogurt and clean sheets, possibly? Hola todos! One day, I wish I will visit Monsanto. So you saw the opening slide, manifesting in Monsanto. Got to be done. The most Portuguese of Portuguese villages, as it's sometimes known. And Phil and Kimberly have found themselves some land very close to Monsanto, and they told us all about it on one of our Thursday night webinars, actually. The webinar tonight is about citizenship. If you've got a long-term view on becoming a Portuguese citizen, do tune in tonight for the webinar. You need to book. Go to the website to do that, expatsportugal.com. But look, Portuguese citizenship, who, when, and how to apply, with our favourite lawyer, Daniel Reis, tonight from Reis and Pelicano, and the Premium Plus session thereafter. Oh, and while I'm here, look, when did she do this? When did she sneak into the studio and film herself? That's Mother. Mother! Bon dia, Cindy B. Alegria, Gumper Familia. Wild surf again this morning. And I took your advice yesterday, Cindy, and took a look at that. It was wild, wasn't it? Calm-ish in the bay. It's always a little bit calmer in San Martino de Porto, and that's why we love it, because it has the cloistered, what is it? What shape is that? Oh, come on, it escapes me now. Scallop-shaped bay, which is amazing from the air. I'll have to find you a picture. Lovely pictures from the air of San Martino de Porto, as there are of Aveiro. Have you seen Aveiro from the air? Aveiro doesn't necessarily make sense on the ground when you're driving around the roundabouts and getting lost in Aveiro. But when you see it from the air, you can understand what they've been trying to do there. And it's amazing, the modern, the old and the new there, the old days of Aveiro and the gridded streets, but how they've added some modern architecture to it. Very nice, Aveiro. I see what you did there, but only from my helicopter. So, yeah, wild surf again in San Martino de Porto this morning. And Laura P. wanting to visit Monsanto. Thank you for your message, Laura P. as well from yesterday. Oh, I think I'm a little bit behind. Like the man who sat on the bacon slicer. And an avant-garde dog has been sent in as well. I've got to share that with you from James this morning. I've got a few things that, a bit behind me with me work. This is the view from our balcony. Oh, I need to show that as well, where I'm watching today's show. This is what we like. We like pictures from where people are watching today's show. So that as well, I have downloaded. Thank you very much indeed. And I was asking me Central Portugal, Bairrada specifically correspondent, and that'll be Andy up there, the Porky Feet, as you sometimes know him. And there are some lovely festivals coming up. A seed Semente festival, Semente Festival Cultural do Livro e da Árvore. So a tree and book festival, details of that to come as well, and others as well. This is fantastic. And I've got a fantastic picture of a woman breastfeeding with some men on, two men. No, one man represented, all will be revealed in just a moment, from the bosom of Portugal. Apparently that's what this is about. This illustration that I'll show you and see if you can make sense of it. We have Cantanhede, great big show at Cantanhede as well. Do you know Cantanhede? Have you been there? The expo, FACIC or FACIC? FACIC. I have to ask Philomena about that. So 28th of July to the 7th of August, that happening as well. Thank you, Andy, for all of these. And the penis monologues are happening as well. I didn't know that there was the counterpart show. We thought it was a banana slug at first. I will show that briefly. Those of a sensitive disposition should be looking away at that point during the show. But thank you very much. Currently at Quarteira, says Dougie. Dougie's going to be sending us some 2-minute tasters. We love those, Doug, so get those into us if you will. And if there's anything you've sent in that I've forgotten or overlooked, do let me know, because I will gladly show it. But as you know, we do get inundated. People have already moved to the front of their seats to look at the penis monologues. There is a show that's happening here in Portugal, in Ana Dias. What happens, I think, quite a lot in Portugal is the combined cinema theatre building, and that's happening in what are they called? Cinema Teatro, I think. We'll come back to that. That's a teaser, isn't it? For sure. Matty, well, I have to go to my COVID test. Hopefully I can catch the end of the show. Well, sorry to hear you're not feeling so good, and hopefully you're taking very good care of yourself and resting, Matty. I know you got a busy schedule wanting to get back here, but put your health first, matey. Nice, Baldylocks, thank you. We're thinking of flying to New York or Boston and then going to Lisbon. So just looking for suggestions going in May, hopefully. Favorite airlines, folks, if you will, please. Not just favorite, but the best ones. Which are the ones that treated you well? Did you put on a suit? Does anyone dress up to travel on an airplane anymore? Gone are those days, I think, right? Isn't it interesting that planes are arguably a little bit more comfortable, but and people don't dress up. They dress up in their whatever, their jogging bottoms or whatever, leggings and so on to travel, which is quite sensible in a way. But when planes were really uncomfortable, people used to dress up in suits, didn't they? And in their finery, as if they were going to church almost. I suppose you're heading towards the heavens, aren't you? Celestial trips in the skies of the world. But how things have changed, right? Chris Capricorn 12, I think we'll have something to say about that. Plane travel, air travel has changed a lot in the last decade or two. Bom dia, vossos riotos chamados Gumpers. The riot called the Gumpers. Feliz Quinta, sim. A todos. Estudei Portuguese por 30 minutos ontem. So 30 minutes under your belt yesterday. And today in Portuguese history, well done, James. Keep it up. Whatever it is you've got under your belt, keep it up. Today in Portuguese history, 1502, very important. Vasco da Gama sets. So that's not Vasco da Gama in the picture, is it? Vasco da Gama sets sail from Lisbon, Portugal, on his second voyage to India. Not content with the first, he sets off today in Portuguese history in 1502 to get back to what is becoming his beloved India, I guess. Isn't that where he died as well, ultimately? Sorry if that's a spoiler for anybody. Monsanto is lovely, but a blooming nightmare to live in, says Pete, with a bit of Cockney Turner phrase. What old nightmare living up in that Monsanto with all them big rocks. Bon dia Gumpers from Brian. Morning, Brian. Thanks to you. The fourth of some 13 Portuguese India Armadas. It was designed as a punitive expedition. What? Targeting Calicut. Was that what would become Calcutta? To avenge the defeat of the second Armada and the attack on the Portuguese Feitoria, the trading post. Okay, can you imagine how angry they got on that long journey on their punitive expedition? The fourth of some 13 Portuguese India Armadas. I mean, have we got any video? Obviously not of the. Have we got any reconstruction video of that? Because that would look amazing, wouldn't it? The Portuguese Armada coming across the horizon there. What is it? Wow. Mr. Christian, what do we have before us? Midlife Crisis World Tour, discovering all those spices and creamy coconut sauces. Why did Portugal end up with salted cod? It's a very good question. But that's something that would have lasted on journeys, isn't it? A bit of the old salted cod. Oh, hold on a minute. I've got to set things up for Phil arriving here, if only by video. And very good videos they are too. But look, check this out. Talking of journeys and expeditions, I have one for you. This is when Phil and Kimberly arrived in Portugal. And I love this so much. I cannot tell you how much I love this. The visual quality of it and their joy as they drive over the Portuguese or Spanish-Portuguese border. Watch this, because there's more to come from Phil a little bit later on.
This is Portugal.
Portugal! Woo, 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 woo.
Isn't that beautiful? I'm sorry if the resolution on that wasn't too clever. I'll do that again. I think that needs to be, if Phil and Kimberly will allow, that needs to be a standing video that we show every now and then of the beautiful box bridge coming across the river, presumably, and coming in over the Portuguese border there, and then whooping and cheering. And more from Phil and how he's used it. His thoughts become things, and the law of attraction. Oh, and his powers of. Oh, which we all have, salted cod, which we all have available to us if we were but to practice and use them. What do you think of that law of attraction malarkey, the manifestation malarkey? More from Phil after 9 o'clock, after we said a few more hellos. We haven't heard anything about we're hearing about salted cod, but not utilities or favorite airlines so far. Francis is here. Bon dia, alegria todos. Wait for it. 15 minutes today. Well done, mate. Good job. And Gumpers. Go team, go. Have we got a cheerleader? Are you dressed up with a couple of pom-poms doing that? OLP. Send in the pics. Cinnamon on everything, Peter. There's proof of the world, not the midlife crisis. Although, was Vasco da Gama's world tour and world travel inspired by his midlife crisis? Had midlife crises been invented? Have men always struggled with that, or humans, have they always struggled with midlife crises, or are they a product of the industrial age, I wonder? And I suppose going back in time, the midlife crisis would have happened when you were in your 20s. Well, mine did anyway, I have to tell you. But when people didn't live as long, obviously their midlife crisis was at an earlier age. I wonder, could any of the social scientists among us please answer that question this morning? Looking forward to seeing Phil today. Actually, he's doing a tour, me too. Or do you mean on the show? Okay, I thought you were having a meet-up. Practically, how else do you have 365 recipes? That's true. All those herbs and spices, you've got to give them a try out. 365 recipes, at least. Bom dia todos from Antonio F. And he's a smashing fella, Lou, is Phil. Oh, that's a nice testimony. I think he's talking about Phil there. I'm pretty sure he is. We are known as the Gumper Nation. Google translates. Nos somos el motín conhecido con Nación Gumper. That's a Thunder Duck there, the nation of Gumpers. Okay, Jack Polly is in. Bom dia a todos, alegria. And was that your picture? It was your picture, wasn't it, Jack? From your balcony. So let's show that now. Beautiful balcony picture this morning to go with your comment on the screen. Let's see. Let's have a look at your lovely balcony. Oh, that's nice. Where are you? I think that's got to be the Algarve, hasn't it? And I would be so tempted. I'd be sipping my coffee and eyeing up that pool and thinking, what time of day am I going to be plunging myself in there? And do you know what? I might even just be tearing my clothes off, leaping over the balcony and legging it across there. But then thinking, oh no, my knees, I'll walk around the long way. I'm going to put this knee injury behind me at some point, which actually could cause another knee injury, couldn't it? If I do that literally. But that's lovely. Thank you very much for that. Jack Polly there with a bon dia, todos alegria from your part of Portugal this morning, where you say, yes, okay, this view from my balcony, I'm watching today's show from here. Beautiful blue sky and a coffee. Living the dream. What's that in Portuguese? Morning all from Suze. How you doing? How are you and Taxi? Hope you're feeling better today, Suze. You've not been feeling the May West, have you? And this one, in this picture I need to take your comment off for that. So from Taxi the dog to this avant-garde dog sent in by James. Beware of the avant-garde dog. There he is. Oh, woof. Now, I would have him down as a French dog, but you think that's quite Portuguese as well? I think the Portuguese, yes, they've got that... is it a kind of Celtic philosophical demeanor, I wonder? But it is shared, isn't it? And across this side of Europe, I think, smoking on a cigarette, looking into an aguardente and contemplating the great mysteries of humanity. There you go, the avant-garde dog there with his little beret and with a sign saying "Awoof." There. Thank you very much for that, James. Paolo Coimbra is in. Morning, Paolo. How are you? As is Nubia Net. Bon dia, peeps. And hola, bon dia. The jazz funk track of the day today is Greg Edwards. Hold on a minute. The jazz funk DJ of the day is Greg Edwards. He's amazing, Greg Edwards. No, I'm not going to ask that. Greg Edwards, UK jazz funk disco DJ icon. Thank you very much for mentioning him. And there are some great names, aren't there, who either have rubbed shoulders with throughout the years with the British love of American jazz funk music. It's a very interesting association relationship, that British-US, the British love of American music, especially of the kind you speak of there, jazz, funk, and soul. Thank you to you, Pippa, for the pup video. I passed it on. That was hilarious. And Pete, love you keeping things funky every morning. That's an erotic novel entry, if ever I saw one. She thanked him for keeping things funky every morning. Says James, and at Pete from the prof. Oh, I'm not going to read that. I'll leave that between you. It's an at comment. It's your business. I'm not going to pry. And bye, says Paolo Coimbra. Not sure. Are you saying goodbye? Is that a sexual prayer? I don't know. We send our love to you, fellow Gumpers, via our mutual moon. Look out and see the moon and think of us across the sea, yearning to be there in Portugal. Oh my word! I feel a Fado song coming on. Looking at the same moon while sighing and wishing we could be together. You have got the spirit of Fado right there. I shouldn't be awake. I may not last long. She's yawning. We're doing our best to keep you awake. Nebionet! Ubium's here as well. Bon dia, Gumpa Nation. And the naughty Audrey. Morning, Ubi. Morning, Audrey. You are so naughty. I don't know, but maybe you are genuinely giving us 310,000 euros this morning. We shared it out among the Gumpers. Bon dia, Donna. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while. Donna Mogardo McLaughlin. The other McLaughlin here. I love a name that's got laugh in the middle of it, right? Bon dia, Carl. Great to see you here this morning. Thank you so much. And Marty. Hey, Marty, how are you? Bon dia, fellow Gumpers. A blizzard woke me up. That's what it takes for some people to tune into the show, a blizzard. Bon dia, todos, aforementioned. Hope you're safe and well, Marty. Bon dia, todos from Andy, the aforementioned. And the big EDP fan sounds like a very costly device. Luckily, there's no such thing as an EDP fan, Pete. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. Bon dia, Carl. 2 sleeps till I'm in Albufeira. A fresh 1 degree this morning in Belfast. I bet you can't wait, Deagle. I'm looking forward to you being here as well, as much as you are, I think. Any marriage proposals for Suze? Okay, so we'll keep that going as well. Oh my word! And yes, other ongoing features. I have got a lovely picture to share with you. Who is this? We still haven't solved. Where has he gone? Oh yeah. So who is this? Let me, and I'm not meaning to put that on. The comment and the picture aren't linked. That is not a marriage proposal. That is a man sporting a very long ponytail, his own. The moustache isn't, I understand. But who is that from our community? If you have a long, lingering look at that, I've got another one to bring you, which is fabulous. Who as well is this? And if you do have a picture of yourself, an amusing one is good, but some of these are amusing anyway. They're never meant to be. It's just historically, the time has made them amusing and passing fashions and so on. So we'll go from that one to this one. Who is this from our community? Look at that. And I'm thinking to myself, staying alive. Who is that from our community? I hope he doesn't kill me for saying that. But that is somebody we know and love. Is a Gumper. That is a Gumper right there. Who is that one? So it's a couple of mysteries still to solve there. And send them in 913-590-303 if you've got an old pic of yourself. Doing something fun and interesting would be great. But I mean, if it's from the 70s and 80s, it's likely to be funny anyway, just because of that. Clouds and daytime. So no moon to be seen here in Ericeira. A bit cloudy there then. But I get your meaning and share the sky with you. Oh, Fado. There it is. Profile pic is Portuguese actress Maria de Medeiros. Just don't mention Pulp Fiction, okay? I won't. Warned off that. And now, of course, we want to know why we shouldn't. We fly with Emirates to Lisbon. Okay, so it's a bit of airline talk now, partly because it's nice and nothing like a hot slap in the face when in Dubai, but also because of a loyalty program through our medical, which gives a substantial discount. It is down to that so often, isn't it? Good luck on your test, Matty from the OLP. And Moaz is in. How are you, Moaz? Is everything okay with you? A bit quiet this morning. Bom dia, Carl e todos. And people of my generation in Portugal fell into the magic potion of political ideas. What was very funny about this revolution was that it did not bring wealth to the Portuguese. Some Portuguese comedy, is it? Or some pithy comments, some pithy Portuguese, I can't think of another P. I'm going to have to go with comment. People of my generation in Portugal fell into the magic potion of political ideas. How old is Maria de Medeiros? I think. But I'm thanking you for this, Prof. I'm liking a cut of this jib already. What was very funny about this revolution was that it did not bring wealth to the Portuguese, but it brought language, ideas. You'd go to the fish market and all the women who were selling fish would call each other fascist, communist. Thank you, Prof. You've risen to the occasion. Another erotic novel entry there. There he is, rising. Despite the midlife crisis, he's risen to the occasion. With that is very, very good. More, please. So did you say she's an actress? But she's good for a pithy comment as well. That's fantastic. More, please. Pre-flight checks, camera, drone, phone, radio mics, 360 camera, car camera, rooftop mount. Oh, rooftop mount, James, write that down. Action cam, write that down. Passports, passenger locator. Car park booked, flight tickets, getting ready to be frisked. Quite a lot of it in there for you, James, but that's what, I mean, they must think you're a spy every time you travel with all of that gubbins there. Capricorn 12. Thank you for letting us know what you're packing there. Something like frio bolos. Steady. Gary Orgood. Well, that goes with the this picture that I'm going to show you now then. Your fault, James. This the monologos do penis. Not peniche, that's different. Ricardo Castro and the two dicks, as it turns out, Ricardo Castro and Ricardo Carrizo are with you, should you dare. And that's going to be quite a hard show to follow if you're Portuguese, if you haven't got a good grasp. To monologos do penis, not peniche, penis, Seneta Teatro Anadia, worth a visit, the Bairrada region. Go for a wine tasting in the afternoon and then be roaring and laughing like a barrel of wine on the 5th of March at 9 o'clock. Stay over if you're having a day and an evening like that, hey. And they've got, I mean, of the two there, I'm guessing Ricardo Castro on the left has some issues on the subject, and Ricardo Carrizo, possibly more of the shower than the grower of the two, it seems to be quite content with himself and his position in life. Moving from that to this, look at this, and this is there's a backstory to this as well. This is a fabulous mural of a woman breastfeeding. But the funny thing about it, I mean, I'm all for it, definitely. And the strange thing is, for those of you on the podcast who are actually wondering now, what on earth is going on? What are they looking at? You don't want to know, or maybe you do. But I'm going to say two gentlemen, but it's actually one gentleman. But he is rendered in monochrome and full color as he approaches the breastfeeding lady. Did you say this is Mama Rosa? There, and it's in Bairrada. What goings on in the Bairrada? Breastfeeding and wine making in the Bairrada region, overlooked, underestimated. But Andy, I've got to read up a little bit about what's going on here. And the Seed Festival as well. So let me bring that onto the screen as we tell you more about the Seed Festival. goings on in Portugal here. This looks really good, actually. The Cement Festival Cultural do Livro e de Alvora. So seeds, books, and trees. They're all connected, aren't they? Of course, can't make books without trees, and you can't have trees without seeds. And the info that goes with this is because I'm asking Andy if the Anadia Festival is happening, which is fantastic. But this one's on. The Seed Festival promises to flood the small village of Mamarosa, the bosom of the Bairrada, as you can see. And I think that's where that mural comes from, the earlier one, with cultural activities for the whole family. We offer 3 days of events, including exhibitions, performances, book presentations, plus a book and tree fair with various exhibitors and freebies. And I'm going to put in the link to that. You've also got the Expo Fasik, I'm going to go with, and that's the huge festival in Cantanhede. All sorts going on at a Portuguese festa of that kind. Oh, and some lovely pics in today. I'm going to save those for tomorrow, Andy, but thank you so much for all of that information about things going on up there in the Bairrada region. There's the Cantanhede Festival. Excellent graphics, loving these, great posters, Seed Festival, Monologos de Pinis, and a breastfeeding mural, and find out more about all of this. Try and make sense of all of that I've just shared with you. And a good place to start is Promob Associação.com. Okay, but I don't take my pronunciation for it. Click on that link and find out what's going on there. Great mural, great posters. Thank you so much, Andy, for all of that information this morning. While we're still on the pictures, who is this? Who is that rascal from our community there? Love that picture very much indeed. Send them in 913-590-303. Carl, your garden veggies are doing wonderfully. Mrs. M has a green thumb. She certainly does. And we've been really going at it. The gardening, that is. Oh, my word. Yeah, looking good. I've built 2 raised beds now with me Leroy Merlin timber, the softwood version with no treatment on it, for our organic veggies, and really enjoying it. Bon dia from Óbidos. Paula Coimbra is in Óbidos, everybody. I think that earlier comment got cut short. Lots of things connected in the conversation today. Hola, bon dia. As minhas pessoas, vaccination certificate news from the US. Son was not asked for a test at arrival, but in Portugal, but was asked upon boarding from US because he had a Paris connection, the French connection. Sounds so glamorous, doesn't it? So, okay, asked in US on boarding, but not in Portugal. So there you go. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Deagle, you had some great info as well, didn't you, about the form filling that you had to do and the depth and level of it pre-flight as well from Belfast there. Well, now, I thought I won the lottery. Marriage proposals will be flying in. Yep, bought a ticket for €3 and won. Yes, here we go. Drum roll, please. €8. I'm up 4. Hold on a minute. I make that 5, Suze. But are you paying tax maybe on your winnings? That's very, very diligent of you to be declaring a tax-inclusive profit there. Bon dia, or tax deducted. Bon dia, Gumperas. Thank you. You threw me there, Raphael. And great to see you this morning. How are you? How's Braga this morning? And yep, the old veggies are doing very, very good. And okay, enough of that sort of talk, James. Lots watching, writing, just not clicking on the likes. Click the likes, fondle the like button, as Cindy B might tell you to do a little bit later on. Or she'll come up with another word for fondle and caress. What else could there be? Hank's here, look. Talking of Americans who should be asleep now. Bola bon dia to all you wonderful people. Happy Thursday up, Hank. Sorry. Hey up, Hank. On Thursday, how are you doing? Simply our being here altogether is a conspiracy. Exactly. Whichever way you look at it, we are conspiracy theorists, aren't we? Maybe some of the Gumpers' official hat should be made of tin foil. So we've got a nice looking hat in development here. Partly cork, obviously. It's got to have some cork in it. And probably some Portuguese wool from the Serra da Estrela sheep. And some tin foil as well. What is the origin of the tinfoil hat? Is that to stop your brain being affected by nefarious influences, I wonder. And do they work? I clicked like for today yesterday. That was presumptuous, wasn't it? No, we like that. I mean, click for the rest of the year. Click the like button 365 times now, if you will, please. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we break the internet. And if we do, we'll get in touch with Vodafone's people. Oh, no, we won't, because those guys in skirts are the... Sorry, I didn't mean any to make fun. Antonio, I hope I haven't upset you by calling those skirts togas, right? Are the Pauliteros de Miranda. I wouldn't dare say it to their faces. That's what a coward I am. Armed with 2 sticks like that, coming at you with 2 bits of timber. What event would Mr. Munson be good at for Portugal in the Winter Olympics? What would that be? The ice waffling on at the Winter Olympics, eh? That would be me. Bom dia do ensolarado, Portugal. Nice one, Lonnie. A greeting from Lonnie in Porto this morning, ensolarado. What site do we need to use to watch Bubble Off Centre podcast? Can it be watched on YouTube? Yes, Feel Good Portugal is where you'll find that. Feel Good Portugal. Do subscribe there, please, and you won't miss a trick. And I'm ignoring the comments. There's lots of them. I'm not complaining, but it makes it a little bit easier. It is a crescent-shaped bay. Thank you very much, Cindy B, for that. Is that my mother on the phone? Oh, have you got to go? Got appointment with the consulate 21st of February to register marriage and kids. The process is going well for you by the sound of it, Francis. That's fantastic. And Rebel Mama getting a bit of coaching from Antonio F. Like that. That's really good. It makes my life more difficult, but again, I'm not complaining. I'm love to see that Portuguese people are helping us expats and settlers and foreigners here with the a bit of pronunciation or vocabulary info there. Vocabularic info. Typing problem. I'm good at math most days. Okay, all right. So yes, she's 5 up. That's going in the Portugal fund. Nazare is having a toe surf challenge today. Oh my word. Yes, that makes sense. Looking at the sea yesterday. And she's breastfeeding 2 men. No, Hank, you got to see the picture. She is breastfeeding a baby, as nature intended there. But there is one man represented twice. Oh, it's just too complicated to go into again, isn't it? Big cycle event. Look at the picture. I'll send it to you. But then again, Connie might think, why is Carl sending pictures of a breastfeeding woman to Hank? I'm going to speak to Carl. Big cycle event across the Algarve next week. We love the cycling here in Portugal as well. Another one of those things you might not realize or know immediately. A big love of the cycling, of the road races here in Portugal. Nazare, sorry, when I saw Monsanto in the show title, I was afraid you were talking about the chemical giant that's ruining crops all over the world. Scared me. Oh, Rebel Mama. Let's go there now, shall we? Let's go. We'll come back to your lovely comments, and we're going to play the first of the videos from Phil. Thoughts become things, you know. And Phil is going to weave that into his Portuguese journey right here. And he also does that on Ku Wu Adu. That is a name, of course it is, of Phil and Kimberly's Facebook page, Ku Wu Do. And I'm going to stick that into the comments now. If you want to like and follow what they're up to. And it is remarkable, miraculous manifestatory journey they've had magical journey coming into Portugal. You can do that at Kuwudu. It's a Facebook page. You can like it and stay in touch with them. But here's the first. It's not a monólogos de Pinish. It is a monólogos de manifestação, I suspect. And here is the first of 3 for you. Take it away, Phil.
Good morning, good morning. Oh my word, I'm running so late today. I wasn't running late, and now I am. How does that happen? Isn't it just the only absolute is time? I mean, it's just an interesting concept. Well, what a day yesterday. Fantastic walk round Idania, much tougher than the week before. At one point, I actually had to stop. All I was doing was walking, but I had to stop. Oh well, maybe there's some fitness that needs to happen. So what else can I tell you? Well, today I thought we'd start. As you know, thoughts become things and baby steps and all of that. And lots of people interested in Portugal and how and why and what. I say lots. Maybe there was one. I thought I'd do a series on that. So this is Portugal 1, the first one, no sequel here. Portugal 1. Firstly, how did we get to want to set Portugal as the destination? Well, let me explain. The final lockdown, as it is right now, we decided that it might be good, because obviously it was getting harder and harder to live our life in a camper van, which is what we really wanted to do. We wanted to travel around Europe and live in a camper van, but COVID kind of put paid to that, or the reaction to COVID put paid to it anyway. So we thought, well, we'd better find somewhere that we'd like to live. And so we started looking around Europe. Now, remember, we're in lockdown, so you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. But, of course, you can if you choose to. So we chose to. So we started, our first place to look for a place to live was Wales. Wales. Needless to say, we went and looked at a property in Wales, and it was not good. It was not good. And it was raining. Of course it was raining. It's Wales. What do you expect? If you don't want rain, don't go to Wales. So that kind of, we just thought, no, okay, we need an adventure. The UK's not an adventure to us. So where are we going to go? And we started looking across Europe. Now we like warm. We do like warm. But we started with France. We started looking closely at France and French way of life and residency and what can be done and what can't be done and all of that. And we decided that France just wasn't quite right. Just wasn't right. And we met somebody online who said, whatever you do, don't go to France. Now, listen, you're always going to meet people who are going to say, whatever you do, don't do this. And some you'll listen to and some you won't. And that's okay. But the more we looked at France, the more it didn't quite float the boat. And Spain just didn't appeal for whatever reason. I can't really remember the reason other than it just didn't feel quite right. And then we looked at Portugal. And the more we looked at Portugal, the more we realised that was the place that we had to be. I mean, we went into great depth. We went and looked up culture. We looked up crime rates. We looked up price of land. We started looking at plots of land. And remember, we're in lockdown. Every morning I like to go for a walk, first thing. Nice walk, get a few thousand steps on. Makes my day. And on those walks, I've always been looking for podcasts. I stuck in Portugal podcasts, and up came this podcast, Expats Portugal. I'd never heard of it. I put it on, and there was this chap called Carl Munson, and they were talking all about Portugal, and it was lovely, and it was positive, and it was filled with people that were interesting and topics that were interesting. So every morning I was getting a daily dose of Portugal. And it left me feeling warm and fluffy and furry and cuddly and nice. Now, I knew that life wasn't going to be all roses if we wanted to go and live in Portugal. You know, you have to look at all sides of a possibility. And I think with tomorrow, what I will do is give you some more of the why and the what and the how and the baby steps and how we ended up and how it didn't go as it was planned and how it went even better and all sorts of great stuff. So if you want to see some more of that, come and have a look tomorrow. I love you loads. Have a fantastic day. It's time for me to go and wash the van. Not a job I love, but a job that needs doing. Take care all. Bye.
Well, he had to go and wash his van. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. Got a couple more vids to come from Phil. And one of them is him not just washing his van, but he's washing his smalls. So we'll come back to that subject as well. And Phil, if you're tuned in as well, if you're not on the road, perhaps you can let us know. Are you a what do we call this after this controversy that was stirred up by Wiley last week? We need to, it's a bit like, dressing to the left or the right. Do you dry to the left or do you dry inside or out? I suppose. But I'll leave someone else to come up with a better turn of phrase for that, okay? Are you a balcony dryer or are you a tumbler dryer? Let us know. I'm loving this comment. We'll come back to Phil a bit more on the hows, whys, wherefores and baby steps and the amazing story of them coming to Portugal in just a little while after a few more comments and questions and votes for the best airlines, utilities, etc., just getting water set up, getting internet set up, all of those things that you've contended with here in Portugal. What are your stories, please? I dress nicer for a flight. I'm with you, Nubian. It feels nice. You can get a linen suit on. It's quite comfortable to sit in. It doesn't have to be all starchy, does it? You don't have to wear a tie, but like a suit and a shirt. I quite like that for flying. Not that I've done that for ages now. It feels nice. I've also noticed I'm treated much better. That's right. As you go up the steps and you're well dressed, they want to funnel you to the right, don't they? To their right, to your left. And you can just go with that flow until you're rumbled, right? It's funny, isn't it? But I think you're right. I think you're right there. Ubi flew TAP, answering your question, OLP, and was pleased with them. The Portuguese domestic national carrier. And on one of my many moves, I came across some lovely it's like a magazine, but it's like a collection of promotional materials from TAP, probably from the 80s, and it's so nice to look at. And that way, I think it was probably more fun to fly in those days. Any collectors of that sort of paraphernalia, you can have it if you want, but it's very nice to look at. But we'll have to meet. I'm not sending it. We'll have to meet and have a coffee, and I'll give you that stuff when we meet up in the Bay one day. I saw a woman at the market. Look at this, James. I saw a woman at the market with a banana slug shirt the other day. Here in Alaska. Too damn cool. I mean, in every sense, probably in Alaska. But that's quite amazing. Have we got another Gumper there? Or is this a motif? I suppose it might be your university colleagues there with their banana slug T-shirts, right, James? At Lonnie from Hank, we did the reverse, Lisbon to Newark. I'm a fan of the Newark to Porto route. That is very awesome. And Lonnie says, the original comment there from Lonnie was, the United flight from Newark to Lisbon is great, usually 7 hours. United is also re-establishing the Newark to Porto route. Thank you for all of this. Really appreciate it. Flying from the UK, EasyJet has the best schedule, several flights a day from multiple airports. They also have very new fleet of aircraft. If you book at the right time, flight bargains galore. There's a man who knows. That's really good. Any of you Gumpers fly with your cats? This is all very good stuff on moving to Portugal Thursday. Thank you very much. I think we will get an answer on that. Certainly had travel with dogs, haven't we? For sure, in the cabin. We'll book with them again. This is TAP. First class seats were fully reclinable and the food was good, but I normally book steerage. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Love your dulcet tones, Carl, but when is Phil coming on? All right, you've had the first dose of Phil. I mean, somebody said that, didn't they? I think Nubian, he has got an amazing voice. Maybe that's where the snowballs with banana sluggish come from, Marty. Are you drifting into a bit of Portuguese there, sluggish? Phil sounded just like me when I drove in Portugal. Whoop, whoop. That's right. And I gave her a woot woot. There's a lot of that going on this morning when I saw her shirt, James. Can you imagine that? Going about your business in Alaska at the market and someone comes up behind you and goes, woot woot, nice slug. She thought I was nuts. She's not wrong. Yeah, exactly. OLP from Chris, you have to show your paperwork 4 times. At the top of the elevator, at the bottom of the elevator. It's crazy, okay? And I don't think that's airport, not airline, isn't it, that make you do that? I figure to have a midlife crisis, you must first have a life. So I'm good. Bon dia, Gumbers! Pippa, thank you so much for everything you said. I really appreciate it. But Pips is here, and I'll share that vid at the end that Sue's liked, and that lovely bit of correspondence. This is a COVID-aware dog. That you might see if you stay till the end. I've been in a midlife crisis since age 15. Yeah, I can relate to that, Ubi. Those of us, believe it or not, those of us are very sensitive disposition. seeing the craziness of this modern world, have been in crisis since the teenage years. I think there's probably more people like that than we realise, right? And everyone's pretending everything's okay and going about their business, aren't they? Until it all falls apart in a midlife crisis. Totally understandable. Let's be there for each other, right? I so want to drive to Portugal from the UK, but Mrs. C won't get in the car with me. She tells really, I'm not having to live with you either then, Chris. If that's what Mrs. Capricorn says. She tells me she'll meet me at the airport in Faro. Wow. Okay. Is it that bad you're driving? I wondered if since he was arriving first in Paris, they asked for the test. It's probably something to do with it, isn't it? So a lot of threads going on. This is really great. It's all about the guard dogs in Portugal as well as the cockerels. Then is that right? We're going to eavesdrop on this. That sounds like Não quer café when they don't have change. They say something like Não tenho troco. There. Antonio F., thank you so much for your help in this regard. And at the midlife crisis from Antonio as well, helping everybody this morning. They assigned the airlines the first line of control in terms of certificates in the departure point, but there's a second line on arrival. Yeah, and they've made the airlines, haven't they, the kind of frontline security with huge fines, and that's why they behave the way they do, I think. You have to make your reservations on the phone with them to ensure they have a spot for you in the cabin. Traveling with cats, which, of course, you did, didn't you, Victoria? I've flown several times with them to Hank. Delta, great, and for carrying cats. Underseat carriers called the Sleepy Pod. Vive la Revenant. From Ubi this morning. Thank you very much. So there you go. Some help for Hank and flying with cats. Dad joke. Good. What do you call someone who refuses to and in public? A private tutor. Very good, Francis. That is a top dad joke, isn't it? Very, very good. I'm tempted to put my mum on the screen for a moment with her giggly face, but she was too ladylike to laugh at a joke like that. I'm sorry I was unclear. He said now cough, and usually I hear troco. Is that a typo? Is that right? Oh, no, it's not. Maybe he thought cough meant change in English, lol. Okay, so we're not up to speed with that conversation. Maybe you could summarize that for us at the end there. Sam Wells, that'll teach me for butting into other people's conversations on my own show. Hola, bon dia. Sam Wells is here from Oz. How are you, mate? And stay safe. What state do you live in, Marty? He's in Alaska, right? Oh, and is that your picture, Carl? Which one? We've had so many OLP. Which one is it? Someone bursting in. Is everything okay? Oh, yes, a coffee. Thank you. My goodness, you burst in as though there was coffee or tea, everyone. What shall I have? Coffee, please. A milky coffee would be lovely. Thank you very much. Come on. Oh, she's blowing me a kiss as well. Early. So Valentine's on Monday. Yeah, see if we can get mum to look after the kids and we'll go out again. Park the car up. Come on, Suze, get on with it and then go to the restaurant. I want to buy a new hat. Okay, so is this the tin foil hat, the cork hat, the woolen hat that we're talking about? She's really thrown me there. And my mind is racing thinking of Valentine's Day now. Random, noticed all the tools, etc., engraved on the grave monuments over here, depicting what jobs the occupants did when alive. So we'll bring that to you tomorrow. Thank you, Andy, for that. That's great. And that is I'm sorry, I'm looking forward to other comments there, which are making me grin. But we'll do that tomorrow because that's amazing. We'll bring those pictures up tomorrow and we'll come back to that, Andy. Thank you very much for that. OLP says, that is Lonnie. Should we keep them guessing? Although he says, I did stay alive. Cool hair. This is going back. My goodness, this is half an hour ago. Let's catch up. I was away for a few minutes making my coffee. I apologize if someone did send me something else away and I didn't respond. Moaz, we're just glad to have you here. Hope you're well this morning. Want to connect after the show, can give you all the skinny. This is exactly what we love. New pick, Lonnie. Yes, okay, very good, everybody. I will confirm or deny later on. Not sure if I have a decent grip on this movie. It's a show. That's the scary thing about it, Hank. It's not a movie. I believe the penis monologues are the equivalent to the vagina monologues, obviously done by fellas there. Actually, you can't say obviously, can you? But it would appear two men doing a show of the monologue kind, and it's a live show. Goodness only knows what goes on. Erotic novel entry. I need Warren's dad joke alert as well as the erotic novel. We need some sax music, don't we? So, a siren, a sax-like siren going off every time. Rhapsody in Blue or something like that. When we read these, while on their road trip, he was so aroused, he eagerly asked her, "Do you fancy a rooftop mount?" Luckily, not Ricardo Castrado. He would have not gotten the part. Literally not gotten the part. Very good, everyone, this morning. Carl, I get stopped every time. I started apologizing to the security staff as they pick up my camera rucksack. I'm sorry, it's so heavy. Yeah, what's in here, buddy? Don't worry about it, Michelle. I'm always late to the show, says James. And Carl, look at the position of the accent on the O word in the monologos. Is that better? Okay, for everyone's benefit, we're doing this for the purposes of learning the language. As I put that back onto the screen, and that framing is quite incredible. It is not Ricardo Castrado, Ricardo Castro, y Ricardo Carizo, y monólogos do penis. Do I go with a sh or a s at the end of that? You're going to have to... I don't know if I want coaching on how to pronounce penis in Portuguese, but you never know when it might come in handy. I have really... I have distracted and disturbed myself big time now. Rosie, you're all right. You wear my ring. When you hold... What's happening now? Marty's written a song for us. When you hold me tight, Rosie, that's... Okay, let me see if I can make this rhyme. Rosie, you're all right. Rosie, you wear my ring. When you hold me tight, Rosie, that's my thing. When you turn out the light, I gotta hand it to me. Looks like it's... Why did you make me read that out, Marty? Oregonians loving Portugal. Maybe some of the Gumpers official hats should be. Hey, haven't we been here before? This is the link for the one of the events, the seed event. The seed event, not the seedy event, not the other one. The seed, trees and books one is where you can find out more information on that link there. Owen, please bring a semblance of order back to this show. Owen's here as well. Bon dia, Gumpers. Hi, Victoria from Sensible. Now breathe. I wasn't meant for reality, but life came and found me. Now, there's a midlife crisis sentiment, right? We're loving these. We're balancing up the Carlin and the right with some the Madero and Pessoa this morning. Loving it. I wasn't meant for reality, but life came and found me. Oh, I feel that, man. Can't say that. How you doing, brother? Love to Connie from and I saw your earlier comment. It's always a tough one, Hank, that, isn't it? So lots of love to all the family and any of the immediate fallout from that. But yeah, it's one of the more difficult parts of moving, isn't it? Hola, Antonio from Jean. Morning, Jean. How are you this morning? That or being mistreated, damaged. I've, however, had a drone confiscated in Dubai during my stopover when I wanted to leave the airport. Fortunately, got it back on the way in again. Wow, amazing. Oh, that's scary, isn't it? Having your drone confiscated. Check out the Sky Azul Claro. Is that you? And your drone photography of the Algarve there, Chris. It isn't common. They only ask you for your vaccination. This is Eduardo. Sounds like a learned gentleman. They only ask you for your vaccination immunity certificate at departure. I was never asked for it on arrival. This is Netherlands to Ireland. Thank you very much for that, Edward. But you just got to take everything. It's like going for any bureaucratic Portuguese appointment. Forewarned is forearmed, isn't it? Take everything with you just in case you need to. Don't take risks. It's not worth it, is it? The consequences are unthinkable if you can't travel to Portugal. Hold on a minute. I talk of IKEA here, not your average globetrotter. I had to go to Braga the other day. The store I wanted was near the Zee. Impossible to park there. I went to IKEA instead. Look at that. You can go and see historic Braga and IKEA on the same day. Happy Thursday. Thank you, Lisa M. How are you this morning? And I think we are slowly catching up with ourselves. So should we show you another vid? Because I've got to the point only like 20 minutes ago where I shared Kuwudu. That's how, if you want to stay in touch with Phil and Kimberly, that's the way to do it, all right? Ordering EU 2022 camping card. What? You need a... that's not an EU official thing. That's the European Camping Association or something. It costs €15, discounts throughout EU campsites, and a magazine with maps and details too. It's a whole other part of life, isn't it? The camping community, camping and caravanning. And there's much mirth and merriment and comedic opportunity in that community, I think. Great campsite on the front at San Martino de Porto, Suze. Maybe see you there. Hi from snowy Iceland then, from Marie Valgoroson. I hope I've done that some sort of justice this morning. So good morning to you, Marie. Let's call you Marie, shall we? And Dubai, very hot and humid in June, but they have AC everywhere. Also, the reason they confiscated your drone, because they've been attacked by drones. It's for safety reasons. There you go. And bon dia from Marie as well. Okay, this is the first time I've seen Phil. He seems like a very sweet guy. So let's have a little bit more of a look at Phil and listen to what he says about thoughts becoming things and how they manifested their manner up Monsanto. Let's see now. Video number 2 from Phil.
Good morning, hello, welcome. Day 21, can you believe it? 3 weeks. Wowza, this has gone so fast, way too quickly, but very, very exciting anyway. And interestingly, I had a number of messages and thoughts around time yesterday. And it is a fascinating subject, but I really loved this one, so I'm going to share it with you, which is that our relationship with time is just like a whirling, waltzing dance where we swirl around, and it's rather than a linear equation. I really like that idea. I'm going to explore that further, I think. But today we move on to Portugal too. So what happened was, we'd chosen the country. What were we going to do? I mean, it's all very well having your country, but where are you going to live in the country? I mean, I might have chosen Great Britain and decided to live in Colville. And let me tell you, there are probably some nice bits to Colville now, but when I suggested that to a friend 30 years ago, there weren't any. Sorry to the people of Colville, it's just the way it is. So where was going to be nice in Portugal? Well, me good muck-up Carl, he said, why don't you take some time? Because we had to come in from the very north, because we wanted to visit a company that built wooden houses, right? He said, why don't you go down the old spice trail? And I'll come onto that. But we did. We basically did. Before we did that, though, we were doing more research in the UK. We were looking on Idealista, we were looking on Pure Portugal, we were looking on Expats Portugal, we were looking at any sort of property that we quite fancied. The south had already got ridiculously expensive for what you were getting, in our humble opinion. And the sea, we love visiting the sea, we love the sound of the ocean, but we don't want to live with it. We like hills, we like looking up at hills. There's something nice in it, I don't know quite what, but it works for us. So we kind of knew that the south was out. So we only had to plan for the first half, for the first half of the spice trail from the north down into the middle. And we got together 22 plots of land that we thought we would want to visit on this journey, and would do. They would work for us. It would. They were the kind of land. But truly, whatever other mistakes I have made, and there have been plenty, do not make the mistake of buying it off a page unless the person you have gone to check it out for you, you trust implicitly. There will always be something that nobody else can get the feeling that you get from a piece of land. Nobody else will get the view that you get. Nobody else will see the potential that you see. This is your journey. This is your piece of land. So my strong advice is take the time to go and visit. Anyway, we'd worked out we had 22 bits of land that we wanted to go and visit, and everybody was laughing at us. But nearly all of them were in central Portugal. There's something magical about central Portugal. I can't tell you what it is. It floats our boat. You know, we liked Castelo Branco when we finally got there. Right, skip ahead. Let me go back. We came in to Portugal across the Box Bridge into a little village that I can't remember the name of right now because, well, it must be 58 or something. Anyway, and it was the most wonderful entry. We stopped straight away for a coffee and a pastel de nata, and it was just absolutely lovely. And so for the next week, was it week, 2 weeks, we just toured from the north slowly down to the middle. Right, and we took our time. We stopped everywhere. We looked at everything. I almost burnt out the clutch going up and down the hills in the far north. It was just a magical, magical time. And I would suggest, if you're ever going to look at a country, go and visit and live and spend as long as you can. I mean, the reason we're back now is because we wanted to see what the land was like when it was raining. We're still waiting to see what the land is like when it's raining. It's been an incredibly dry winter here, which is kind of bad news, but hopefully we'll get some rain soon. Because you want to experience, you want to understand, you want to know, and probably you want to do that before you buy a piece of land. Anyway, we toured down, and this is all on our website, on either on the website or on the Facebook page. If you go onto Kuwudu, you can see the history of our journey down to finding this piece of land, and it was just the most amazing, amazing adventure. And of the 22 pieces of land, weirdly, I think we looked at 2 before we actually found the right one, which wasn't on the 22 pieces of land. So the thing is this, and this is the thing. If you have a destination, if you take those baby steps, you will get to where you're going, but almost certainly not in the way that you thought you were. Imagine you put into your sat-nav to go from London to Leeds. Often you might find yourself going via Carlisle. This would not be a natural progression. Or you were going from New York to Boston and you decided to go via Chicago. You know, these are not natural progressions, but you're going to get there, and it's going to be the most wonderful journey because of the uncertainty of how you get there. And you won't realise this until you're looking back at it. Anyway, I've rambled on for far too long today. Hope you're all well. Love you loads. Speak to you soon. Be back on tomorrow.
Oh, wasn't that nice? A third one to come. And love it. You're very chatty today. My goodness, so many comments in the... I think that's a Thursday thing. This does happen, doesn't it? We've warmed up. Monday's a little bit... let's ask Gilda a question. And then by Thursday, I think this is the peak day of our week, isn't it? And it'll be nice and easy going again tomorrow when Philomena joins us for Philomena Friday. Kuwudu is where you can find Phil and Kimberly, facebook.com/Kuwudu, for those of you still tolerating Facebook and its funny ways. And we'll go to a third video before we end the show today. But so many comments to cover. Let's see what you're saying about Phil. Let's see what you're saying about airlines. Let's see what you're saying about each other. Let's see what you're saying about balcony laundry. Trigger alert. It's so true, isn't it? This is going to run and run. Yes. Are those smalls out front, or are they hidden away discreetly from view? And you know, in Portugal, of course, you can actually wash your dirty linen in public. Some supermarkets have a little outside laundry bit, and some petrol stations, it's quite gas stations, have them as well. So prepare for that culture shock and that affront to your curb appeal. Yes, I still dress up for travel, says Suze. Air, rail, and road. I think there is a payoff for the effort. Well done, Suze. And Laura P says, I used to be a stewardess. I didn't understand passengers boarding with flip-flops and mostly naked. What kind of flights were they? Convertible cargo pants, jumper, t-shirt, and a jacket. As soon as the flight lands and we're in the car park picking up the car, I zip off the bottom of the pants and strip down to the t-shirt. That's amazing. You are like, you are a sort of Bond character for sure, Chris. Convertible cargo pants. I thought the top came, they flipped up to reveal the passenger. TAP was the only direct non-stop to Lisbon from San Francisco. Service was great, and the flight was only 11 hours. Hey, 11 hours. Research what the Napoli do with their underwear or smalls as you wash them. As you wall them, I wonder. Do they make a wall of smalls? The wall of smalls. That's what they should have had in Sparta. 300 men made a wall of smalls. And the Athenians could not pass. Top tip with flights, in my limited experience, dressing up as a priest. You get an upgrade. Any nuns in here to confirm the gender equivalent? We had a great stag do. Brothers, step this way. Oh, that's fantastic. Villanova de Guy is part of the discussion. Really, anything walkable to the metro. Oh, this is Porto talk this morning. This is great. Moving to Portugal Thursday. All perfect. Well done, everybody. Is the new mystery photo Lonnie? Might be. Time to reveal Ponytail Man. Okay, so a few more guesses then on this, please. Let's reveal Ponytail Man today and get some more in. I tell you what, I'll reveal Ponytail Man here. Who is he among the Gumpers here? And what does it say? Is that a make America great again in blue on there? Is that a MAGA hat? We've got a nice big ponytail anyway, not his own moustache. Who is it? And I'm not going to tell you until we get another photo in. So send another one in. And we have this one today, which I think has been fair to say. I will reveal later who the true identity of this person is. But people seem to know, didn't they? He did stay alive. Laura P, probably for comfort. I don't wear shorts and wouldn't wear flip-flops on a plane, but I do take off my shoes on board and just wear socks. So it was you, Rebel Mama. I flew TAP and from Newark to Lisbon and was very happy. So lots of happy tappers here. I would love the TAP books you have, but we'll have to wait until I get there. Yes, they're yours, OLP, and they are lovely. And maybe I'll take a few snaps of them and put them on the screen so you can see them. Lonnie, good info on the Newark to Porto route. Thank you for that, Lonnie. EasyJet or Aer Lingus from Belfast every time. Avoid Ryanair. They have a horrible hard landing. Thump stop. Like to ease onto the ground. He liked to ease onto the ground. You know, who doesn't like a thump stop? Who does like a thump stop early in the morning? Steerage is the coach. Old transatlantic. Oh, okay. Cruise line. Cheap seats. Think. No, don't think Titanic ever when you're traveling. But I get your drift there, Ubi. As I learn more, I'm chatting to the founder of a startup that will focus on pet travel. Very exciting stuff. Okay, well, is that in operation? We need those details, don't we? We love TAP when we moved here. Very good. And I am back after another unpleasant PCR test. Oh, they do stick it when the sun doesn't shine, don't they? I hope you're okay. Yes, it's a great airport. So which one's this? They met me at the gate with a wheelchair, and I was surprised that Dubai Airport have different customs and security for people with disabilities. Excellent service there. Good to know. Thank you. Shout out for Dubai this morning. We actually kind of liked Villanova de Guy around Santo Ovidio for practical reasons. Yes, of course, I understand removing shoes, especially during long flights, but passengers even walk with bare feet on airplanes. Horrible. So unhygienic there. Pam E's here, everybody. Morning, Pam. Bon dia, I'm on my way. Away! Excellent. I got my visa and flying out on Saturday from San Francisco. Excellent. Well done. That is San Francisco, isn't it? SFO. What does the O stand for, folks? Deagle, I am going to London next month and I'm so scared of Ryanair. I paid €20 more for EasyJet. Very good. They'd have got that extra 20 out of you anyway on Ryan, wouldn't they? So I think a good choice there for EasyJet for you, Rebel Mama. Have a great time in my hometown. I'm sorry you had to take the test, and I wish you the best with the results, says Moaz to you, Matty. How are you feeling, mate? More to the point. I'll be flying Portugal, says Lisa M, with TAP. First time flying with them, San Francisco to Lisbon. I'm going to go with that until I find out what the O means. Jim White's here. Bon dia todos. Thank you, Jim, for tuning in this morning. How you doing? Loving Porto, I think. Hank, my flight lands in Lisbon. Then I will live in Vila do Conde. Wow. Okay. Very good, Pammy. All figured out there. Did you catch the COVID? Did I miss some news? We don't know what the results of his test were. Just the pain inflicted upon him. We're up to speed with. Thank you, Mrs. M, for the coffee. She keeps giving me this mug for some reason. That's not true. What's she getting at, do you think? The undisputed national treasure mug. Not a Trevor. I said Trevor last time, didn't I? Carl, when I was paying the cafe guy, he asked Nal Cafe, which I already had some with my meal. So I didn't understand. Okay, thought he was asking if I'd change. Portugal might kill my brain eventually. And you know what? That might not be a bad thing. These brains of ours, with all this thinking we do and all these opinions we've got, they kind of hurts us in the end, doesn't it? So maybe it's not the end of the world to just be, floating freely in the Portuguese landscape, undogged by opinions and mental polarities. How's that for a thought? Andy, loved your famous carpool karaoke yesterday. It was very good, wasn't it? Andy and Owen and Viv in the car yesterday. It's quite comical, wasn't it? When you looked at, if you didn't know them, it was quite a comical scene. And I wouldn't have been surprised if a GNR officer knocked on them and said, why have you been parked here for 40 minutes now? You three gentlemen, what's going on here? Oh, we're on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. Really? Please step out of the vehicle. Let's have a look. Hank, that would be great. When do you get that? Oh, there's meetups, plenty going on. Well done, everybody. Loving this. I just booked a round trip ticket on United from Porto to Newark in April for $338. My mother will be thrilled. That sounds good, Lonnie. Shout out there for United and loving that particular Porto to Newark journey there. Maxine, thank you so much, Maxine. 100% for monólogos. It's so, it's like me old Gazoleo, isn't it? It's Gazolio. Get the emphasis on the right syllable, folks. Great, Lisa. I'm excited for Saturday. So excited that I can't sleep, says Pammy. Have a great journey. Bon voyage to you, Pammy. Sounds wonderful. Keep in touch when you get this side, won't you? Please do. What a bargain, Lonnie. Sure, she'll be dead chuffed, as Peter Bleach is saying there to Lonnie. $338 to fly from Portugal to America. Amazing. Is it a round trip? Is that a return for that sort of money as well? That didn't sink in earlier on. Round trip, yes, for $338. Quite incredible. Only paid $500 for my son Nashville to Porto. Arrived yesterday. A great price. So loving that. Check out United then for those bargains. Suze, this is my shout out to all the midnight oil burners tuning in from distant time zones. This is lovely. So if we could do more of this would be great. For people who catch this later, there's 50 odd of us. I think people click in on and off, come in and out, and we normally get around over 100 people when we're live. But it goes to 500, 600, 700, 1,000, 1,200. Michael Heron's show last week, 1,200. Gilda often up in four figures. So let's send out these messages to the future. Here's one from Suze to you all listening later. This is my shout out to all the midnight oil burners tuning in from distant time zones. Good on you, soulful gumpers. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Suze, for that. My friend Sean was in a car for work with someone who was positive yet still tested negative. It happens, doesn't it? The days came and went. I didn't know that was life. Tungsten, the Swedish writer. So American, Portuguese, and Swedish pithy comments. The days came and went. I didn't know that was life. And there is a Swedish philosophical sensibility for sure, isn't there? I guess it's in all nations, isn't it? The days came and went, and I didn't know that was life. That's very beautiful, isn't it? So let's treasure and pleasure every moment, shall we? Phil needs to start a podcast with that voice. He is. He and I are working together a little bit, I can reveal. And you will be hearing more of Phil because he does need to do a podcast and, a vodcast, vlogs, certainly. And I think people need to hear about what he's talking about. So doing my best to encourage and help him with that. Heck, he could just recite the ABCs and I'd listen. I'll pass that on if he's not hearing that this morning. Owen, what have you been cooking? Oh, no, it's not meant to be said like that, is it? What have you been cooking, mate? We want to know, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the screen, maybe cooking live next Wednesday, that'll be. That'll be great. Lisa Hank, it happened fast. I planned for February 2023, but after my visit in October, I moved that timeline. We're finding this. So many people are shifting their timelines, are they not? Oh, Feel Good Portugal. If you want to listen to the Bubble Off Centre, sign up on that link there to Feel Good Portugal. And somebody will say, what on earth is all that rubbish on Feel Good Portugal? It's a bit of a potpourri, podcast potpourri. Yes, I do have meditation videos on there. Some of them are pretty weird, I have to say. Please read us the dictionary, Phil. Yes, well said. And let's see who else. What is being said? Who is saying it? Warren's here, the aforementioned. Bon dia, can't sleep. It's 4:39 a.m. here. You get the award, Warren. Quite frankly, glad GMP is on. We're glad to be able to be here to serve you, my friend. And the dad joke trigger alert. I think we've got a typo in it, Warren. We need to go back to the drawing board on that, but we need it. We had a dad joke in this morning, and a clue. The dad joke teller may have something to do with the gentleman in the baseball cap. So true, Phil. I get asked to look at places and ask what I think, but it's very personal. I can only give facts. Well said, Louise. That's really, yeah. And I think the advice that Phil gave there that Louise likes, Chris agrees with too. Great advice. Caveat emptor. You know, if you're buying for just fact reasons, if it's just a financial thing, you might get away with sending somebody or buying it off the sheet. But if it's where your heart's going to be, your heart needs to be there and go and check it out, does it not? You can't tell these things from just looking at pictures. We do our best to convey Portugal to you, but we do recommend you come here. Base camp in Portugal. Have a little wander around, find out for yourself. Politicians and diapers should be changed frequently, and for the same reason. From Esther de Queiroz. Is that hers, or did she just? What's going on here? I don't know what Esther de Queiroz means, and I'm confusing it with the young lady in the picture, aren't I? But that's so true. Let's not worry too much about the source right now, but let's just agree that is absolutely the case, is it not? You don't have to look far to see the proof of that politicians and diapers should be changed frequently and for the same reason. Very good. Hopefully, yes, our election here in May results in a big shake-up, says Michelle over there in Australia. Wow. And Canada as well. So things are happening in Canada, aren't they, to get Monsieur Trudeau moved on, I think, as well, unpopular as he is becoming, it would seem. That's why I've been here in the north to experience February weather, but it's been glorious. Yes, not the best time to enjoy typical weather, is it, in Portugal this particular year? I don't think. And will we ever have typical weather again, I wonder? OMG, why did he stop? Are we talking about Phil there? Got another one, Iris, don't worry. Regarding, is that what you mean, though? Regarding elections, the last results, emigration are known. 2 seats for PS and 2 seats for PSD. And okay, is that the final? Is that the final results there? Thank you very much, Antonio F, for that. We kind of had moved on from that, hadn't we? When are they going to start doing their worst, though? Senor Costa, I think, is COVID positive, isn't he? So maybe a bit of a delay on the next stage of his governance. I might be in Braga, where I lived 3 years ago, probably end of July. Let me know if you're around. Isn't that lovely? More meetups going on. So strongly encourage that. Love to see the Gumpers getting together, and would love to see pictures too, folks, if you've got them. Some happy snaps of your meetups. Phil should have his own show. I'm going to watch the replay to get more of Phil's advice. We'll get him on. Can't wait for the next installment. Good vibes. Absolutely. I thought you'd like it. So Carl, Capricorn 12, redubbed Capricorn 007. Indeed, he is that guy, isn't he? Connie does message me with your IG, and I'll have her drop you a line. Okay, so lots of connections going on. Loving that. All the single ladies dressing up on the plane. Very good. Thank you, Victoria. A big community washing machines in shopping complexes last 5 years across Belfast. Most people would wash dry continental quilt as big as a 12-kilo drum. So, yes, that's happening not only in Portugal then, but across Belfast. Washing machines in the shopping complexes. Stick it on and go and do your shopping. That's good bit of multitasking, isn't it? Correction. It was 385.84, less than he said even. Round trip, non-stop, Porto to Newark. I think, what are they called? United gets that this morning for the best value, I think. Ponytail Man, baseball cap is Carl, mid-90s. Nope, it's not. It's somebody else from our community. Who is this? We would like to reveal this, but we can't do it until another photo has been sent in by somebody. Has that happened? Just checking WhatsApp now. As we go, oh, okay, we can reveal. We've got oh, yes, what a graduation pic. Loving that. And that will replace the gentleman in the baseball cap. This is fantastic. And somebody sent me a vagina monologues picture just to balance things up a little bit this morning. So thank you very much to whoever you are who sent in the picture of yourself at graduation. We want more of these from this is where Facebook came from, wasn't it? With these sorts of pictures that were the yearbooks, right? Didn't Facebook come from the yearbook tradition that you have over there in the United States. Any more guesses then? This one going up now to replace baseball cap guy. Who is he? I'll give you a little bit of a clue. He did talk about drones this morning and tunes in with us. What's his time zone? I think he's a little bit later on in the day. But who's this from graduation? That's a wonderful picture. That's absolutely lovely. Thank you very much. That's the new one. Who is this from our community? And final guesses, please, as we reveal today who is this from our community. And you don't have to be a regular. Send in a pic if it's a funny one of you from back in the day. And well done, Hank. Oh, are we sending in pictures of us as young people? Yes, I can only accept pictures of people from the past. I will not be accepting pictures of people from the future because they're very difficult to verify. That is a mullet, not a pony. You're right. It is a mullet. Business at the front, party at the back. That is exactly what's going on there, and that's exactly why he took that picture, to document the fact that he was able to enjoy a mullet at least once in his life. I mean, we've all been there. Let's face it. Portuguese with Leo just released a new video about recently election. Says Gene, haven't watched it yet, but his about Portugal videos are always good. That's good to know. Thank you very much for that. You'll get to learn the lingo and a lot about Portugal as well, culturally. Always good to mix those things up. We like to do that. Lingo and culture. We'll do that tomorrow with Filomeno. It looks so much like you, Carl. It's not me. It's another young, handsome fella from our community. And that is a mullet for sure. Well spotted. Peter Bleach. Pete, were you a hairdresser in a past life? Or are you thinking of becoming one in this? You'll like this one, Carl. Don't be afraid to think differently than others. Be afraid to think alike and find out that everyone is wrong. Yes. So tell me, Prof, who is Essa de Queiroz? Can we have a bit of background there? Fantastic. The second one too. So I look like both people from two different pictures, and I look like both of them. That's weird, isn't it? Is it possible then that you start looking like, our dog owners sometimes start, or the dogs and the owners start looking like each other, and married couples can start looking like each other? Can you be careful, everybody? You can end up looking like the host of the live streams. Choose wisely. Love him. So cute and clear with his language. Is that Leo, possibly? The guy in the picture looks like Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. It's true, and it has been said. This, folks, and we will reveal it now because it was guessed accurately on its first outing this morning. This is, of course, not Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. It's our very own Lonnie McLaughlin. Thank you, Lonnie, for sharing that picture of you. You're looking pretty buff in that T-shirt as well, fella. And what lovely hair you have there. Looking great. Well, can you date that for us, please, Lonnie? That has been guessed correctly. Still just a few more minutes to go then before, if anyone's going to guess on this. I haven't got down to the comments, I suspect, where they're coming in. That is not Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. That could be another musical artist. And we carry on from here on in with this one. Who is this? That's such a beauty. Have you still got the jacket and shirt combo and the dicky bow that goes with that? Okay, it's a note. Come on, we're going to have to stop comments, folks. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. San Francisco, Oakland, thank you very much for that. That's great. During my first job in aviation, I was given the job of collecting cheetah cubs from an aircraft, taking to the animal holding bay. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And any more of those, your first jobs and special things that happen? I'm okay, says Matty. Just shivers, hot and cold. Fluey symptoms there, then headache, pain in ears and throat. It feels like my eyes want to go elsewhere, but in my head. Yes, it just sounds horrible. Get well soon, Matty. Lots of love coming to you from this community. Rebel Mama, EasyJet took over a great airline that I was working for. And at the time, we all felt, it's not Ryanair that purchased us. EasyJet are great. You can always drink a bottle of Jack Daniels and time travel until you're over the COVID there. Thank you. Follow Hank for more health tips. My son is here in the guest bedroom, one of my 4 favorite people on earth. Oh, hello, son, in the guest bedroom. Good morning. Bye. She can't take any more. Laura P's got to go. We've all got to go. Don't be afraid to think differently than others. Be afraid to think alike and find out that everyone is wrong. It's so true. And we need to know who that is. Who is Essa de Queiroz? Forgive me. Some people can't start their day without a coffee. I can't start mine without GMP. Weekends are so hard. Oh, bless you, Chris. SFO is because the 1945 International International Air Transit Association needed a 3-letter code. Portland is, I see, very good. Portland is, so it's by LAX, isn't it? Portland, Oregon is BDX. Thank you very much for that. Oh, and I forgot about the coughing. You need, like, I found a new lozenge. Maybe you need some of these. Green screen's messing it up. This is a green packet. These are the Menthol Nazare, relieving menthol candies. Drops Nazare, they're called. Fabrica de Reposados. From the Drops Nazare factory of lozenges. A brand new lozenge to share with you. And they are nice and menthol. But the green's not coming out because of the green screen. That's added to my collection. I beg your pardon, Mullet Man. Ponytails came later. So Mullet Man. Who is Mullet Man? Hola, my fellow soon-to-be former Californians. And Lonnie, Google Flights has current lowest fees across all platforms, and I have had the price change by as much as $200 within a matter of hours. Wow. In the 60s, hippies in the 60s wore ponytails, but I agree, that's a mullet. It's true. Well done, everybody. Well spotted. Lol, Matty, are you sure it isn't all those late night snacks? Philomena was positive, but her lovely husband negative. It is odd. You're not kidding. It's odd. Lonnie, yep. Just beware of the 20-hour travel times. Lol. Okay, sometimes, says Deagle, when I'm working nights and I have a free hour, I watch back on a show I thought I was the only one to do this. No, Deagle. Most of the views of the Good Morning Portugal show happen in the future. Amazing, huh? And so we're sending messages to the future for people. We're sending them pictures of the past and messages for the future. Great tip, Lonnie. And occasionally, that's for Google Flights, I occasionally use Skyscanner or Kayak. Lots of great info about flights and prices, flight prices this morning. Thank you, everybody. The closer you live to a pole, north or south, the longer the darkness during winter. Cabin fever and SAD are rampant. Coping involves a lot of reading, thinking, and drinking. And watching the Good Morning Portugal show, we will do our best to cheer you up in those sad times. There's literally sad times. Pitterbed crisps, you're always stuffing your face every Friday. Hope you feel better soon, Matty. Man-to-man directness going on there. Yes, Carl, I'm up 5, not 4. Bad typing, not bad math. No, I mean, trust your math implicitly. Hence, lots of deep thoughts and art spring forth. Not all of it is bad. Much of it is brooding and sodden, like Kierkegaard there. Yeah, so that's probably going back to the reference about the philosophical nature of the Swedes and the darkness of the Poles, not the Polish people. Although I've met some Poles who can be a bit dark, it has to be said. But yeah, where you have a dark winter, that can get you brooding and writing pithy things down, pithy things to paper. We need some rain for my crops, everybody. If we can organise that, that'd be great. And Essa de Queiroz was a Portuguese writer. I guessed as much, Pamela, but can we have a bit more background? We need to know, don't we? Every change is a form of liberation. My mother used to say a change is always good, even if it's for the worse. Paula Rego, the artist there. Thank you very much. Excellent. We're off. We're off, up and running with the Portuguese writers and pithy Portuguese comments. I've got to find a third P to alliterate with that. Before you go, fondle that like button. Tenho uma linda quinta-feira. And de Queiroz was one of the best Portuguese writers, lived in the, why'd you do this to me, 19th century. Well, midlife's pick portraits a Portuguese actress, Maria de Medeiros. Thank you for clearing that up. Not just for me, I think. Thank you, Gareth, for this. I think that's cleared it up for other people, Antonio F. Who do you trust these days? Actually, if you look at the polls, most of the population support Trudeau's actions. Yeah, I guess it depends which poll you look at. We look at different polls, you and me, Gareth, don't we? Clearly, from some of the exchanges we have on Facebook. Rebel Mama, as you are as usual, spot on. We are okay. I guess the election we'll see, won't we? Or will it? No, that probably won't help either. We are okay here as we have an all year round spring, but nothing since December. And that wasn't even mildly moist. Pete was mildly moist. He wasn't even mildly moist. I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow, that is some shirt and curtains. Is that referring to someone's haircut? Or no, that's the. Oh, are we this far back with the comments? That is some shirt and curtains. Who is it though? Who is it from our community? New pick as a guest there. It's the Tea Duck. Dapper chap, says Michelle. This is going back to 10 o'clock. Oh, okay, only 10 minutes ago now. We're catching up with ourselves. So Graduate is not Hank then, as he is just catching on. Elimination process has begun. Yes, you can rule him out, can't you, of that? Unless that was a double bluff there. Carl, what a great idea. I would love to open a specialty comb over barber here. There is certainly the demand. Yes. Would you like your 3 strands of hair plaited or combed into position today, sir? Do it, Pete. Carl, you look like your mum. Family resemblance there for sure. It's so true. Okay, Kairush, not Kairush. Not Querash. Okay, Kairush. Thank you very much, James. 1973. That picture is dated. It's fabulous. Look at him. Staying alive, I see you rise in the morning sun. Aging very well there, Lonnie. And get well, Matty, too. Thank you for all the get well wishes. So if I watch loads of Brad Pitt or George Clooney movies, yes, absolutely right, Jerry. Try it. And we'll show the results on a regular basis and see if that's true. And I mean, I guess you could watch Ocean's 11, couldn't you? And where they appear together, Men Who Stare at Goats. That's probably for fast results. Watch movies with both of them in. Aish Matty there. Get well soon, mate. Does anyone use Skyscanner? I think that was mentioned before. SFO, the O is for Oakland, as we've discovered. Matty, my eyes felt wonky too and had a raw nose. Put coconut oil on after every blow. He's chafing. Suze, stop it. James, write that down. Get well. I am on the mend. Last flight out of LHR to OHR, Chicago. Some bright spark wants to look out of the window at 39,000 feet. What are you going to see apart from blinding yourself and fellow passengers with the light? Oh, I see. Someone lifted the flaps, as it were. Ryanair pilot maintenance ticket. Autoland operates roughly. Mechanic response. Autoland not installed on this aircraft. Oh, poor old Ryanair. Warren, Toronto Pearson International Airport is YYZ. Go figure. And for our American friends, the Z is pronounced Z. Oh, I got that wrong. Sorry, Z. Yes. For me, it's a Z too. I was just trying to help. No good deed goes unpunished. Suze, did Carl's mum come to the show today? I was away a couple of times. Moaz, let me just show you the picture of my mum. She sneaks into the studio at night and messes about and does stuff like this. Look at her messing about in the early hours of the morning. She's so naughty, isn't she? Look at her there. You can ask her questions and I'll pass them on. I'm not sure if it's safe to put her on air, quite frankly. 12 minutes past 10. And at the end of the term semester, there will be a test. I'm looking at you at the back, Munson. So true. I've heard that before. Prof. Carl, you are killing me with the Bee Gees. Shall I stop? 1973. Who would have guessed? Leadership should not be swayed by polls. Trudeau should defend democracy at all costs, as any decent person should. Okay, I'm not sure where you're going with that, because it's like everybody's saying that, aren't they? The opposite sides are saying the same thing. Hank is too young and definitely was a 70s, early 80s prom pick. It is T-Duck, says the OLP. Men Who Stare at Goats, brilliant movie. Not for Oakland. It's nowhere near the airport and another country. Francisco. Oh, okay. So we didn't get to the bottom of that. Controversy. Leaving a controversial end to the show. And who doesn't like a controversial end? Trigger alert, color. Carl, your mum looks like she has a wicked sense of humor. She does. I mean, she has me for a son, for a start, right? She's had to make an adjustment to that. Okay, she does, and she can deliver a pithy comment or two, I can tell you. Okay, did we do Phil's final? You've got to tell me. Did I do Phil's final video? I think I did, didn't I? No, I didn't. In case I didn't, you're going to hear it again if I did, and you're going to hear it to conclude the show. Take care, folks. You've got us to 9:45 on Moving to Portugal Thursday. Very chatty this morning. I think that is our peak chat. Comes on a Thursday, and we'll go out with Phil now, and I'll play the box bridge again at the end because that is so beautiful, and it will put everything in context. Phil Cooklin, thank you so much, of Coo Woo Do. Anything I missed, I forgive. We'll come back to it tomorrow when we have Philomena Friday. See you on the webinar tonight if you want to become a Portuguese citizen. Find out how, and see you Premium Plus folks to talk about utilities later on as well at 9. Ciao, ciao.
Bon dia, bon dia, bon dia, bon dia. I'm on early today. Well, I just wanted to let you watch my laundry going round and round in a dryer. there's something therapeutic about it. Also, look at the state of my shoes. I wouldn't say it's dusty where we are, but it is. It's very dusty. Anyway, let me turn you around. Hello, how are you all? Good morning. Welcome to Wash Day Wednesday. As always, here I am. I've already had breakfast and a galau, and so I thought I'd come on early. So here we are. Where were we up to? Oh yes, the third property we found, but we didn't find it in the way that we thought we would. So how did that come about? Well, we'd seen referenced an estate agent a lot on various boards of being a good estate agent. Now you pay more for going through an estate agent, you just do. But sometimes they just have the piece of land that you're looking for. And if they do, then pay a bit more. So what? The view we've got from our land was perfect for us. It was everything that we wanted it to be. That piece of land has everything that we want, and it's where we love to be all the time. So, it was the third one of 6 that they showed us, and we didn't look at 4, 5 and 6. We knew instantly. We just knew. Did it tick any of the boxes of what we decided we needed in a piece of land when we set off? So, did it have a habitation licence? Was it an urban article? No, it was not. It was an agricultural article. Avoid agricultural articles. This is my advice to you. However, we've already changed it from an agricultural to an urban article. These things can be done. Nothing is impossible. The system is there, and you can work with the system to get where you want to go. Did we buy it privately? No, we used an estate agent. Did we find a good solicitor? Yes, very good solicitor. Very good solicitor. Big piece of advice, make sure you've got a very good solicitor. Take your time to find these people. Did we get a Portuguese bank account? We did, with Banco Montepio, which is a Portuguese bank, properly Portuguese, as opposed to a Spanish pretending to be a Portuguese bank. And we got everything that we needed, and we bought that piece of land in 3 days. Now, I am not saying to you go and buy your piece of land in 3 days, but that was our journey. We hadn't set a time that we needed to get it by Christmas, or we needed to move in by Easter, or any of that. We just said, piece of land, Portugal, it's got to have this view, and we had a picture of a view that we wanted. And the interesting thing about that picture was the Sunday before we met the estate agent, so the day before, we were driving out from Castelo Branco looking for the lake at La Dosa. We'd gone down a side turning and we got stuck. The van got pretty wedged in. And we got it out after a while. We gave up on La Dosa and we thought, well, why don't we go and have a look at Monsanto? And whilst we were driving towards Monsanto, Kimberly took this picture of the view from Monsanto going back towards Castelo Branco. So when we went into the estate agent, we said, we want this view. Do you have any bits of land? They had 6. And as I've told you, the third one was the one that we actually bought. So what are we going to do with it? Don't know. We've started doing some stuff. We've had a shelter built for the van. So we've got somewhere to stick it in case it was raining heavily. Well, that didn't happen, but we've still got a shelter, so that's good. And we've got a driveway that we can now get into the piece of land, because when we bought it, you could barely get the van into the entrance, and certainly no more than 10 feet onto the land. But now you can drive right up to the barn shed, what will be the house, and we've got some nice flat bits coordinated, and we've cleared a lot of the Spanish broom away because it needed clearing. So there has been some work going on, but what are we going to do for water? Don't know yet. What are we doing for power? Don't know yet. When are we going to live here? Don't know yet. You know, there's lots of moving bits in this. If I could give one piece of advice, and one piece of advice only, well, I'm going to give you more than one piece. You know I am. But don't set time deadlines on your journey. Just set the destination and take some baby steps. You don't need to do it to a set time, to a set way. Don't try and do it like anybody else. Do it as though it's your journey. Do it because that's what you want to do. That's where you want to be. Do it because it will make it authentic to you rather than copying somebody else's dream. I mean, I cannot build my own house, so I couldn't do something like, if you ever go on to Indie Project, which is fantastic watching, I couldn't do what Theo and B have done. You know, it would be too much for me. So do what you need. Take your time. Enjoy the process. The journey is the process. The journey is what life is about, right? You will get to destinations, but the journey, isn't that what it's about? Sharing the experience, going and doing some fun stuff. You don't get two cracks. Make the most of it. Have a great time. Anyway, that wraps it up for Portugal on Portugal 3. Tomorrow I want to come back on a completely different topic. So hopefully I'll see some of you then. If not, it's fine. If I do, it's lovely. Have a great day. Love you loads. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye now.
This is Portugal.
Portugal! Whoop, 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 whoop.